What's up and welcome back to Interpreting the Stars, where today we're talking about 12 Monkeys, a film that I've never seen until now, which is actually kind of nuts. I've always heard great things about it, and it was obviously super popular because they made a TV show out of it, which I almost want to check out now because that ran for 4 years, and I can only imagine how far they took the actual story, which on its own has a lot of moving parts that are constantly rotating. A TV show might actually be able to flesh some of that out in the best possible light, but nothing will really match the film, which is pretty iconic all on its own. So let's get on with the review before it becomes null and void, and let's get cracking. This review is brought to you by the word of the day, null, amounting to nothing. 12 Monkeys is a film where in the near future a pandemic has swept the world and killed off 5 billion people, and the remaining survivors must live underground like worms. Their only hope of survival and returning to the surface of the earth is to volunteer unwilling prisoners to go back in time, find the source of the virus, and take a sample of it back to the future, reverse engineer it, and fix their current problem. The thing is, the man they picked, James Cole, has a mind that is cracking under pressure. So first of all, I'm not sure how I missed this one in general. I love time travel films. I especially love time travel films when something about it feels unique and different, and 12 Monkeys is a movie that specifically feels different. There's nothing like it out there, and there's a lot of time travel films in general. That's because with all of the moving parts in this film, there's a lot of stuff that's still left for interpretation, and not exactly answered because it mixes the ideas and themes of time travel with mental illness. The effects of time travel are really messing with Bruce Willis's character, so he may say some things in this movie that sound insane, but are actually true, and the same goes vice versa. He's hearing voices in his head, but is it the voice of an actual person from the future controlling his actions? Is it a voice from the past that he can't remember? Is it his subconscious? Is he just going nuts? It's really hard to say, and that's part of the reason why this film has received quite a bit of theories surrounding what it means, and it can technically have you thinking about the events of the film for decades, and yet it still has a narrative that works on its own. It has meaning, it has depth, it follows the time travel rule of whatever happened, because he's not trying to stop anything. He's not trying to step on any butterflies or create any plot holes. His mission is really just observation and intelligence, but that's easier said than done, especially when you sound crazy saying you come from the future and it feel crazy because the effects of time travel are wearing you down. This film effectively has a lot of great tension as it's mostly unpredictable in its actions. You never know what to expect here because the pacing is kind of all over the place. But it's all over the place on purpose. I really dug the performances by Bruce Willis and even Brad Pitt in this film, both of which played characters I've never really seen them do before. They both had to act banana sandwich crazy, and they do, especially with Brad Pitt's tics and his off-center eyes. These were really weird roles for both of them, and they both did extremely well with what they had. I'd even go as far to say I was impressed with the dialogue, cinematography, and sound editing, because when it came down to the dialogue, there was repetitive theme going on with the word monkey. You hear it a lot. These guys are monkeys. You'll do the best going to Florida. I hear it's great in the Keys, so on and so forth. Every other scene, I feel like they mention monkeys or keys in one way or another, which really keeps it feeling fresh and on point. It is a little bit aged, I'll admit, especially whenever it takes you to the future. The visuals there, they're not the best. But it's not that big of a deal because the whole thing often feels like a fantasy, so whenever the visuals aren't super impressive in the future, you do kind of forgive it at the same time because it feels like it fits with the idea that they were going for. Instead, I would actually say the biggest thing about the movie is how much it makes you think while you're being entertained. Even though you see the future several times, the film does such a good job making you consider if this guy's actually crazy and the future is his delusions. That's the importance of performance. That it's so good that it makes you second guess what you've already seen. I don't know, but let's go ahead and break the final score down. 12 Monkeys is a film that, for the most part, still stands up to this day as being a memorable and original science fiction time travel film. The writing is on point, and the acting often impresses me, which is why my unbiased score is found at 82%. And a majority of how you'll feel about this film is based on how unpredictable and mysterious it really is. You'll be making your own theories before reading anybody else's. That's why my bias score is found at 94%, averaging everything out to a final score of 88%, 88 out of 100 possible stars, granting 12 Monkeys with a letter grade of B+. Not too bad if I do say so myself. Now remember, 88 is just 1% lower than what I scored Die Hard for a Bruce Willis comparison. I'd like to hear your thoughts on 12 Monkeys in the comments down below though. What do you think about it, and where do you rank it among other time travel films? Let me know. As for YouTube, you know what to do. Hit the subscribe button if you like this review, because there's more like it coming out. Hit the thumbs up button, because that always helps out my channel. And don't forget about the little bell icon, because that'll help notify you when I come out with my next review. And until then, peace out!